I'm Dr. Shauna Dingman from Elevate Women's Health Center, and today I'm going to show you some simple beginner core exercises. One of the things that's come up a lot lately in clinic is we've had conversations about chronic low back pain, and what I've realized is that people who suffer from chronic low back pain or frequent bouts of acute mechanical low back pain, it's really because the core is not strong enough for the lifestyle that we lead. And so I'm really getting people into working on their core more. And it's just one of those things, you just have to do it consistently if you want to feel great. So I've got 10 exercises that I'm going to show you today. These are basic beginner exercises that do not involve you doing any traditional crunches, which is part of the reason why I love them. So you're going to need a couple of things. I would get a set 2 light weights. When I talk about light weights, I'm talking 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds at the most. You're going to need a mat. Now, if you have really cushy surface, these black and white tiles here, it's thick foam tiling, so I could do without a mat, but you know, we have that for our workout space. Most people are just using a floor of some kind. You're definitely going to need a mat for that. And when I do some of my other videos that show more intermediate and advanced core exercises, I would grab a stability ball. You can get any of these things from, I think you can even get them from the dollar store, but you can definitely get them from Amazon, Walmart, Canadian Tire. I mean, they're sold everywhere. The other thing about these exercises is just like any area of your body, you don't want to be doing these exercises necessarily every day. So really do an in-depth core workout, I would say 3 to 5 times a week, depending on how old you are. The older you are, the more recovery time your body needs. But you could do just 1 or 2 of these every single day just to keep your core firing. That's no problem. The other thing is that when I show you the exercises, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can either do them by reps. Reps are just the number of times you do it. So say you choose 15 reps, then you do it until you're finished the 15 reps, no matter how long it takes. Or what I recommend is you choose a time interval. So you do it as many times as you can within a certain time interval. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't choose a time interval more than 20, 25 seconds. But you can work up to, say, 40, 45 seconds is lots. And then what you do is you just keep doing the exercise until your timer goes off. You give yourself a short amount of time to kind of take a breather and get ready for the next exercise, and then you hit the timer again and you do the next exercise for the same time interval. Okay, so that's what you need to get started. We're gonna get started on the mat for the first set of exercises, for the first several sets of exercises. Okay, so what we're gonna start with is lying on your back. Now, I should teach you how to engage your core. When I talk about engaging your core, understand I'm not just talking about engaging your abdominals, okay? Your abdominals go all the way around the side towards your spine. So think about if you had a girdle or a corset on and somebody was cinching it up really tight. It's this whole band all the way around your back, but it also includes your glutes and your hamstrings and your quads. So your thighs, the back of your thighs, your bum, and all the muscles all the way around from front to back. And when you, the stronger core you have, so the stronger muscles you have all around, the more protected your low back is going to be. Okay? So easiest way to engage your core is to, if you picture whistling or blowing out with pursed lips, that feeling that you get right here at the end of that, it's tight, that's your abdominals engaged, and then squeeze your butt cheeks together and basically feeling your thighs and your hamstrings kind of tighten up, that's engaging your core. So before we start any exercise, we're going to engage as many core muscles as we can. So for the first one, what I want you to do is, we're gonna lie down on your back. I would grab 1 weight. So lie yourself gently down on your back. You can keep your feet on the floor for right now. I want you to do that blowing out to engage your core. I also want you to squeeze your glutes together and tighten up your quads and hamstrings. Grab a weight, bring it up here. I want you to bring 1 leg up and then the second leg up to 90. So you should feel this whole area tight right now, and all you're gonna do is is slowly and very controlled. You're gonna bring that weight over your head. It can touch the floor or not, and back up again. Touch your knees, touch the floor. And when you're way out here, you'll be able to feel everything really grabbing. Touch your knees, touch the floor. You should have a slight hollow in your low back, so don't try to push your low back into the floor. Your spine neutral position is to have a slight hollow, so you want to make sure you can maintain that. If your low back begins to hurt, lower a leg down. Okay, so that's the first one. Let that weight go. Next one we're gonna do, and this one, you're gonna wanna put your arms, just slide your hands under your low back, because your low back is gonna wanna press into the floor. You wanna just make sure you keep a little bit of that arch, just a tiny, tiny arch in your low back. Extend one leg out, extend the other leg out, make sure you've engaged your core, and you're gonna flutter kick. This one is hard, it's really tiring. So just like you were swimming, if you go higher, it's easier. If you could do more, get your legs as close to the floor as you possibly can. The other thing you can do is a scissor kick. So you could do like 10 of these, and then 10 of these, and switch back and forth. When you come out of it, put your feet on the floor, and you can probably stay where you are, but I gotta check my exercise sheet. Oh, dead bugs are next. Okay, so stay down on the floor, and what you're gonna do is engage your core. Don't forget your glutes and hamstrings. Bring one leg up and the other leg up to 90. Press your palms into your knees. You don't wanna press your knees, but just make sure you feel that touch, and you'll feel your abdominals engage when you do that. Dead bugs are lowering the same arm and leg at the same time, and then bringing it back up again. You're gonna alternate left and right. When my left leg straightens out, every time I hear this massive clunk. I know some of you get that too. That's neither here nor there. I think it's my hip flexor tendon. So if you feel that, it's not that uncommon. Okay, and then to come out of it, put your feet down. And I'm gonna get you to just roll up safely like this. And I want you to come onto your hands and knees. So you're gonna be in what's called a tabletop position. Tabletop means your arms are straight, your hands are directly beneath your shoulders, your knees are directly beneath your hips, and you've got a nice flat back. Like if somebody wanted to put a tray of dishes on top of my back, they should be able to do that. So you're not like this, but you're not like this. And we're gonna come into a plank position. So all you're gonna do is extend your legs out. You guys have probably all seen this. And you're just gonna hold it. So this is one of those things, you're not doing reps, you're just doing it according to your time interval. Now, some of you have got sore shoulders. You can either come down on your elbows, just make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. That's a modification. You can drop your knees down. That'll make it easier too. But what I would really recommend, especially if you have sore wrists, is getting lots and lots of padding underneath your plank. I think that the biggest challenge to our wrists is just simply not having enough padding. So you can take your yoga mat and just roll it a number of times. So I would try the hardest position first and just see if you can do it. If you can't, take an easier modification. If that's still too hard, take an easier modification. Now, last thing I'll say about the plank position is, if all of those mods are still too difficult, that's totally okay. You can plank against a wall, you can plank against the back of a couch, but figure out how you can do it consistently, and then challenge yourself to a more difficult plank position. And if all you can do is 10, 15 seconds in the beginning, that's awesome. You just want to work at building up that time over time. Anything between 45 seconds and a minute, that's a lot. If you can get to that, that's tons of planking. You're gonna get really good core work from that. But planking is a really important exercise to be able to do, especially if you wanna go on and do some of the more advanced exercises that I'll show you in other videos, you're gonna need to be able to hold that plank position. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, you can sit up for these ones. These are called Russian twists. So, grab one weight. You just need one weight, but you're gonna hold it sideways. You wanna hold it like this in two hands. Now, I'm gonna turn my body so you can see. You can either do it sitting, so you're gonna be fairly straight up. Make sure that your spine is in neutral, okay? It's really easy to slouch. Don't do that. You wanna stay nice and tall, and all you're gonna do is, it's a gentle twist, okay? So your weight is not controlling your movement, your core is controlling your movement, and you're gonna come down, you're gonna touch that weight to the floor, and then up and twist to the other side. Okay, so you can do them as fast or as slow as you want. You just have to make sure that you're not flinging your arms and doing this, or you're gonna hurt your back for sure. The other thing is, if you can do a more difficult modification, what you wanna do is lean back, so you're hinging at the waist, you're not bending and slouching back like this. Hinge back, keep your legs off the floor. I cross my legs to make it easier, and you're doing the same thing, like this. I love this exercise for my obliques. Your obliques are the side abdominals. So these are Russian twists. Okay, next one you're gonna do, probably my single most favorite exercise. My single favorite exercise in this whole group of 10. These are called bird dogs. If you're a patient in my clinic, I have almost certainly recommended this to you at some point in time. This is one of 3 basic spinal exercises that we recommend to all of our patients. Okay, so you're gonna be in tabletop position. Nice flat back, engage your core. You're gonna extend right arm and left leg. They don't have to be high. And they can even just be a little bit off the floor. Bring it in, switch sides. Left arm, right leg. Hold and down. You can just do a 1 or 2 second hold when you get to here. Okay, make sure when you're doing this, your abs are engaged, but in particular, you're really using your hamstrings and your glutes to move that leg. Those are bird dogs. Okay. Give yourself a little stretch. Next one, we're still going to be down on the mat. Most of you have seen a downward dog position, so I call these down dog taps. What you're going to do is come into your plank position, so nice flat back, glutes, hamstrings, quads, abs, all engaged right now. Push your hips back. And I have to move my hands in just a little bit for these ones because I have really tight hamstrings and calves. What you're going to do is take one arm and touch the opposite toe. So left hand to right toe, right hand to left toe. You'll get a nice hamstring stretch and calf stretch out of this one, but it's kind of like doing a crunch, but in a more healthy way. Make sure when you come back, try and come back, I haven't been doing it, but come back all the way to plank, like that, and just hold for a second. Good. Okay. Let's do some standing exercises. So grab one weight. You can stand up. Tighten your entire core, glutes, hams, quads, abs. Raise that weight above your head. You're going to do a very small circle with the weight above your head. It's a tiny motion, so you're not moving your body all like this. You're just moving your hands, and your body should stay nice and still. You can do it one way. Make sure you do the other way for balance. Make sure you breathe with all these too. So those are your standing overhead circles. Bend down and grab your other weight. So I'm going to show you this one without weights first. This one is a beautiful, very graceful exercise that's going to require a lot of balance. So this is where it is super important for you to make sure everything is engaged, because if you're having trouble keeping your balance, The more you engage your quads, hamstrings, and glutes with this one, the easier it is to balance. So what you're gonna do is a forward reach, but you're gonna do it balancing on one leg. So I would just maybe lift your right toes a little bit off the mat. So lift your right heel off the mat, so you're just touching with your right toes. Ground yourself with that left foot, and you're just gonna reach forward with your hands and back with your leg. Not high. So you wanna keep your hands just shoulder height or a little bit lower. And again, if you're really struggling to keep your balance, tighten up your hamstrings, your glutes, and your thighs. Now, I'm gonna show you this with weights too. I like to do it with weights, but this is really where it matters how much control you have over this. You don't wanna be swinging. So with weights, what you're gonna do, make sure your shoulders are back, and you're going to reach forward. Don't bring the weights above your shoulder. So it's not a big movement, but boy, does that require balance. And it really requires a lot of core strength. I would go with a super light weight on this one, 2 or 3 pounds, 5 at the most. Okay. The other thing we can do, grab one weight, engage your core, tighten those glutes and hamstrings, raise it above your head. Another tiny movement, you're gonna do a crunch to the side. Okay, so what you're thinking about is making the movement by tightening up the muscle in between your ribs and your pelvis. It's just a little movement. So again, you're not doing this crazy swinging thing. You want your body to stay straight, and your core is doing all the work. Think about bringing your ribs and your pelvis closer together. That's another great one, especially feeling that in the obliques. Okay, that's 10 exercises. You don't need to do all 10 of them every time you do this. Although if you chose 30-second intervals, 10 exercises is only 5 minutes of work. So that's a nice interval time, and everybody has 5 minutes to work on their core. But if you want to, you can just mix and match and do 4 or 5, and then maybe do the round twice. So it'll give you a little bit of variety. So if you have any questions, please reach out. You can find me by email, Dr. Shauna at elevatewomenshealth.ca. My website, by the way, is www.elevatewomenshealth.ca. You can find me on Facebook, Elevate Women's Health, or on Instagram at Dr. Shauna Dingman. Have an awesome day.